Good morning. Slightly different video today. I'm not in the picture, so you don't have to put up with my face. Now, this is more of an explainer video in relation to you speaking to your contractor. And this particular video is based on a couple of people saying to me that on their conversions, church, chapel, barns, etc., that the contractor has said that they must pay 20% VAT on the materials. They are aware that the barn conversion is at 5% for their labour, but the materials must be at 20% because they pay 20% at their supplier. They're unable to get 5% charge to them at the supplier. Now, this is totally incorrect, and it's very important to you as the house builder that this is correct, because should you pay 5% labour and 20% on materials to the contractor. Now, that shouldn't be mixed up with making purchases. When you make purchases from the likes of Travis Perkins, B&Q, Juicing and so forth, then you do pay 20% and that gets reclaimed. But when a contractor comes to do work for you, it should be at 5%, and that's for labour and materials, unless it's a non-qualifying item or a non-qualifying task. So let me explain to you here so that you have an understanding, so that you can subsequently speak to your contractor from a position of power and knowledge. So just for simplicity's sake, we're going to say that your contractor in this VAT quarter or this month's VAT, however they work it, that the only job they do is your job. Okay, so they're doing nothing else. So we're just going to base it on the one job, and which is your job. So if you see on the screen now, we have an ordinary job, not the barn conversion, because I'm going to do a comparison. So we will say that the contractor, the job for this month for yourself on the barn conversion is £10,000. So let's look at it as a normal job for him in the first instance. So he would say to his client, the contractor would say to the client, £10,000 plus VAT, which comes to £12,000. So that means he has collected £2,000 for HMRC, which he should be passing on in his next VAT quarter. So on this particular task, this project, this job he's doing, of the £10,000, £5,000 is made up of materials he's purchased. So he has spent £5,000 at his supplier plus VAT, which comes to £6,000, which means he's paid £1,000 of VAT here. So he's already paid HMRC £1,000 because he paid his supplier 5,000 plus VAT, which comes to 6,000. So he's handed over £6,000 to his supplier, who in turn will hand it over to HMRC. So let's look at the final outcome on a normal job. So at the end of this quarter, this month, he has collected £2,000 of VAT, which he should hand over to HMRC. But he's already paid £1,000 through his supplier. So he only has to pay £1,000 to HMRC, because he owed them £2,000, but he's already paid £1,000 through his supplier. So he only pays £1,000 to HMRC instead of the £2,000. Now, let's look at it if it was a barn conversion. Exactly the same, like for like in values. So it should be £10,000 plus 5% for the barn conversion. So that's 10,500 charged to the customer, to you. So he has collected £500 there, which should be handed over to HMRC. Exactly the same again. Out of the £10,000, he has spent £5,000 plus VAT to his suppliers, which is 6,000 overall. So he has handed over basically £1,000 to HMRC through his purchases for which in turn his supplier passes over to HMRC, but it's still come out of his bank. He has paid £1,000 to HMRC there. So at the end of this quarter or month, he collected £500. He paid via his suppliers £1,000. So at the end of this quarter or month, he will get a refund in his VAT quarter from HMRC of £500, which is the difference between the £500 he's collected and should be paying HMRC against the £1,000 he has already actually paid, which means that he's overpaid by £500. And subsequently, HMRC will reimburse him that when at whatever periods he does his VAT, be it quarterly, be it monthly, and so on. So that's a very simple explanation of how, why, and where a contractor charging 5% VAT is not out of pocket. It's not costing him any money. And this is for you to have an understanding, so that when he makes a comment to you, and by all means, feel free to point them in the direction of this video. Alternatively, you can reach out to me direct. Many thanks for watching today. A like to this video would be very much appreciated. I've got lots of knowledge to share. A subscription to the channel would be fantastic, guys. Many thanks for the support. Bye.